Joining me now on set for more on this, Anthony Scaramucci, former White House communications director and founder of Skybridge Capital. Anthony, thanks for being here. I feel like I haven't heard from you lately.
Yeah.
How you been doing?
I'm doing great.
Good.
Yeah, I miss you.
Yeah.
Hopefully you get me back on the couch for Outnumbered.
That would be good. You know, you go through the details of Catherine Herridge's report and you learn that there's more bias behind this anti-Trump dossier. What does all of this tell you?
Well, I mean, it's interesting that it's being uncovered now, but now the risk to the nation is that people are going to perceive that all of these agencies right down to the ground are weaponized as political instruments. And so what the president said, that the rank and file he has an enormous amount of respect for, the rank and file agents, the rank and file people that are doing the hard work of the government, he has a lot of respect for. But the tippy top, it does seem like they've been tainted and they use their positions as a form of weaponization as it related to a political campaign. So that's going to be something that has to be cleaned out and has to be addressed, Sandra, in my opinion, in a bipartisan way. It has to never happen again to either side of the equation. Devin
Nunes says he wants to know two key questions, really. Did you know that Democrats paid for this dossier? And who did you tell? You think he's going to get answers from these questionnaires? Well,
they're going to stonewall him, but there's a tsunami of information now that's going to make it impossible for them to do that. Also, when you look at the Democratic response, their memo had a lot of holes in it. And so they would be way better served right now if both sides got together and said, OK, look, this happened. We're going to take corrective measures to make sure that this never happens again on a going forward basis. It's very important for the American people, and I'm sure the president feels this way, to respect these agencies, to respect the rank and file people in the agencies, and to end the weaponization. So hopefully they'll do that.
I've got to throw the name Sam Nunberg out there, a grand jury appearance capping a really wild week. Yeah. And as you mentioned to me, he dropped your name in some of those wild interviews. What's your relationship with him?
Listen, my heart goes out to Sam. He's obviously troubled by a number of different things. I don't know him super well. I guess he wants to bring my name up into the thing. I don't want to sort of engage with him. He's explained to people that he wants to go back into rehab after the grand jury thing ended. I think the original interviews at the early part of the week showed a combination of some kind of substance and some kind of stress that were boiled together in like a cocktail related to him. So I wish him well. My heart goes out to him, and I want him to get the help that he needs.
He originally said he was going to ignore that subpoena, and then today, grand jury, 6 hours of questioning.
I'm glad he did it because, as we know, as an attorney, if you ignore a subpoena like that, you can end up serving 3 to 7 years in prison, and no one wants to see that happen to Sam.
What was his relationship that you saw inside the White House with him, or outside the White House, I should say? He's worked for the president in some capacity going back to 2011.
He did, but he was let go from the campaign after I got to the campaign. We have a couple of friends in common. I've seen him at my restaurant. Again, I like Sam. I don't really mind the stuff that he's saying about me. My attitude on Sam is people that have issues like Sam, get the help that you need. And then once you go through that STEP program, you'll start apologizing to people like me for saying the nonsense that you're saying. But I'm cool with it.
I got to ask you about Stormy Daniels, the adult film store with allegations against this president from a decade ago. She sued the president. We find that out at the beginning of the week, filed a lawsuit. But now Fox News has confirmed that President Trump's attorney, his personal attorney, Michael Cohen, used the Trump Organization, not campaign, Trump Organization email in the correspondence with Stormy Daniels' lawyers with that non-disclosure agreement and that money that was allegedly paid before the election.
Yeah. So listen, I mean, I unfortunately, I'm not as up to speed on the case as some of the other people that are super close to it. But I would say the same thing, and I'm good friends with Michael Cohen. I think he's a very loyal guy, and I'm sure he's done an enormous service to the president and his family over the last 10 years. The best thing to do in a situation like this is to try to get out there and explain exactly what happened, because what we know about situations like this, once you lance the boil and you just address it head on, it sort of ends in the news cycle. If you continue the process of skirting the issue, we know a lot of tough investigative journalists will keep bringing it up, and there'll be smoke everywhere. So my advice to Michael is let's just get out there, explain what happened, and then obviously it'll go away.
Two big departures from this White House in the past 2 weeks. Hope Hicks being one of them, communications director, a role you know very, very well. And Gary Cohn, the president's chief economic advisor, as a business guy. I'm sure you have some guesses at who might fill their shoes.
Yeah, I'm not exactly sure, but I think the president said it better than all of us. He's got a very deep talent pool that he can draw from. He's absolutely right. Everybody wants to work in the West Wing, wants to be a part of that excitement.
Is that the case? Because you don't see that in the mainstream media.
I'll share. Well, that's
you
not.
read
That's
about
not.
chaos.
That's not in the mainstream media. But everyone that really knows the president knows he's a very gregarious, likable guy. But I'll share something. Probably get in trouble for it, but I don't mind sharing it. I'm in the Oval Office with the president, and he says to me, you didn't support me in the beginning because I wasn't ready to run. He says, but you like action. You like being part of the action. I said, yeah, I do. I said, but I've never seen action like this. And he laughed out loud. He says, yeah, you're never going to find action like this. And I think there's a lot of people in the community around the president that really enjoy the president's
company. So he
company.
sees that as a plus to his style of government.
Yeah, I mean, let me tell you something. I mean, here's the thing, and I said this. I only had one press conference. I was only in the White House for 2 Fridays, but the first Friday was a little bit more memorable than the second Friday. But what I said from the press podium, I really meant I want the American people to see the president the way I see him or the way his family sees him, which is very different than the way the mainstream media reports about him. And just look at what happened with the North Korean situation. It was perfect Donald J. Trump, art of the deal technique and negotiation. He brought a very tough backbone to the situation. And I think he's going to get the resolution that the world needs and the world wants, to the surprise of many in the mainstream media.
I've only got a few seconds left. You want another role back in the White House?
I don't see any probability of that happening.
Would you take one if it was offered?
Well, listen, I'm on a great pathway as it relates to my personal life right now, and I sort of want to stay on that. I don't think you say no to the president of the United States. Anybody that's a patriot wouldn't say no. But I don't see that. I have that at less than minus 50%.
Politics in your future?
Only if you run as my running mate.
Oh,
okay.
If you announce that's right on
here,
the table.
You announce right here on the show you're running as my running mate, I'll take a shot at it. And you pick the state that we have to run in. It's going to be tough to run in New York.
It is really good to see you,
Good
Anthony
to see you
Scaramucci.
Too,